2014, a sick, twisted legend came into fruition in Texas. A place that no longer was going to be known for just chainsaws and steers. It was going to be known for perverted clowns, gore, and a hand-painted penis. That's right. I'm talking Circus of the Dead, a movie that's still talked about by indie horror fans across the world. And today, on the very first episode of Director on Director, I am going to be talking with the legendary Bloody Billy Pond. Make sure to like and subscribe to Buck Short's channel here, and then also follow the links to be able to find anything from Billy Pond. And you guys, enjoy the interview. Hey, and welcome to Director on Director with Richard Tanner. I am Richard Tanner, owner of Buck Short Productions and director of such films that you may remember like Franken-Thug or Mother News Presents Once Upon a Nightmare. And today you get to come to the very first episode of Director on Director, to where I get to give a great interview with a good friend, a mentor, a man that's helped me through movies left and right. You know him from Circus of the Dead, from Doll Boy, from Mr. Fister in the upcoming movie Cowboys from Hell. Let's hear it up for Billy Pond.
Hey, insert applause here. There you go. They'll fade out. No, not the crickets, the applause. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up, Richard? It's good to talk to you again. I think I haven't seen you in person for. Don't tell me it's been 5 years or something, because I'm gonna.
I was about to say 4, but then I'm like, I think it was 2016. That is 5, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I went to that damn circuit for a long time taking the film around, but it took me 7 years to get the dang film out because of, that's the biggest hassle for indie directors out there, is trying to get your film out. So
ain't that the truth? And it was forever with you. But you did something that I'm ready to get into it already. I loved that with Circus of the Dead, you kept it fresh for years. Like, you would go to the con, and then all of a sudden, someone from out of nowhere is handing me a soda with, Mr. Blister on it. And I'm drinking a Blister, soda, which is great. And you always did that. So what was it like? So you did Circus of the Dead. When did you start that, and how did you keep it fresh so you got distribution all the way up with this version, the Dread Central?
Well, that's a sad story. We started in 2013, late 2013 when we filmed it, and we spent about a month and a week filming it and doing our day job too in Odessa, Texas. And flew a bunch of people out to be in it and stuff, and they would get their sleep at night, and the rest of us local people who's working for free, we all had to go to our day jobs and take off early and then come film all night long till 5 or 6 in the morning. So we did that in 2013. I edited it real quick and did a rough cut that we showed at Frightmare for 2014, but I kind of jumped the gun on it a little bit. If I would have known now, I would have done a lot of things different, but we didn't get it actually out till 2017. And we did that as we went the indie route by going with a company called Distributor. And Distributor's a bad word, a bad name.
Yes.
they really reamed my rear end out pretty good. And what's funny is their motto was we're gonna take care of the indie filmmakers, because the distribution companies are not. So it's like, no, they screwed you just as bad as distribution companies will. So I did that, and then I noticed they went bankrupt. Got me for a lot of money that I'll never see or nothing. But then whenever it come up, I thought the good thing is, I said, well, maybe I should reach out, because I seen the success of Terrifier and Damien Leone's film and Leone's film, and I said, maybe that company's really pushing that movie pretty good. So that's when I just reached out to Dread Central, and I think it was Josh Milliken. Josh Milliken, he's a dang good dude. He's got these dreads and stuff, real scary looking guy, but really sweet person. But I contacted him, as a filmmaker, when you contact somebody and you say, hey, I got this film, and they go, oh man, yeah, I'd totally check it out and give it to everybody and show them, and you don't hear jack and shit back, right?
Not a thing.
Well, anyway, yeah, this guy said what he did and did what he said, and the next thing I know, Dread calls and we work out a deal and they get it out the right way. But what's funny is I just got a call from Canada too, or an email, and they're getting ready to release it over there finally through Dread and stuff like that. So we haven't got everywhere yet, but we're sure working on it. So now Germany's coming, and I know Bill Oberst has a huge following for whatever reason over in Germany. They love Bill Oberst. So, but yeah, it's been a nightmare on distribution, and I'm glad we finally ended up with Dread and everything. But I mean, I don't know what to tell directors. Just do your research before you sign with any company, and find your friends that have been, had their movies with them, and just write them a candid email saying, I'm thinking about going with this company. Would you recommend them or not? And I think that's fair for anybody that owns a business. Just like you, if you're doing a movie and you cast me, if I was an actor, I would say, well, I never worked with Richard. I know you have. What would you suggest? You think he's worth working for? So we all have to live up to that in life, because you don't want to go work for somebody you're not happy or something. So
yeah, especially in the indie world. And I think over the course of all these interviews I'm going to be doing, that's going to be the reoccurring theme is like, oh man, this distributor just bent me over and had his way with me, because it's almost a rite of passage. It's like getting bootlegged. Yes. You're going to get screwed.
You're going to get screwed, and that's what I tell everybody is like it's whether or not you lube up and get ready or not. I mean, if you're gonna get raped, you might as well lube up for it. I dare say when you get Stephen Biro on here and he's talking, we'll see what he's got to say about distribution. But he went and did it himself. So I mean, that's where it's going to end up taking you, because you can't trust companies. And I know Justin Seaman and Zane Herzberger and stuff. They did that with The Barn and all that, and they run a good company too. It's like it's the evolution. The indie guy's got to do his own stuff, or you're gonna get screwed over. That's the only way to it, yeah.
That's it. And like even the indie productions, you got Trauma, which I love Trauma, but I don't really want to work for him that much, other than just I got Frankenthug on Trauma once, and I was very thrilled. I'm never going to see $1 from that. But it's like, oh man, in theory, Frankenthug's next to Toxie. That's great. That's all it is, But even those indie ones, man, the distribution's so hard just to fight with the same 10 movies. They're on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. And then if you get on Amazon, you have 5,000 ripoffs of those that people have to just dredge through to get to you. So distribution is not making the movie that's difficult, which is a lie. It's difficult to make a damn movie. But that once you get done, you think you're finished. You're like, I did all this. I spent money. Then you're by yourself going, all right, let me just start hammering away on doors. All the actors are gone. You're just sitting there as the producer, the director, and you're like, Jesus, what have I done with my life? Where's the devil? I need to sign my soul over. It'll be easier this way.
And it would be easier, and it's like, because it's your baby and stuff, but that's what I tell every filmmaker is like, you think making a film is hard, wait till it comes to this business part of it, And then after you do that and you sign that deal and you're patting each other on the back and patting each other on the ass and stuff, then the next thing 2 years, 3 years go by and you don't get no money, and you're saying, hey, wait a minute, and that's the way it's going to fall. But I mean, there's so many movies and stuff, and I know you, Richard, you're like me, you're not doing it for the money, but it would be nice to do this for a living and not take away from making movies because we're, digging ditches and stuff like that. So that's all I care about is when I went to Dread 2, is I went in with that mindset is like, I didn't care, front end, back end as much as I cared about just getting the movie as into as many or in front of as many eyes as I can. And next movie I make, like Cowboys from Hell, is I'm trying to, whatever the budget of the movie, I want to double that, and the other part is to promote it. I think that's where I went wrong, is I spent everything I had on Circus. There's nothing to promote it except for creativity. And it did good, with the fans, and I'm proud of that. But I mean, to get it mainstream or something, I got to get it in front of more eyes next time. So I'm either hoping some big company comes a knocking, or this opens the door to do some bigger things. I just want to tell stories and stuff like that. I'm not asking to be super rich, but I want to make enough so my wife don't yell at me, and I want to make enough to keep making movies, and I would be happy.
It is sad. It's one of those art forms that everyone's like, well, why are you doing this, if you need money? And it's like, because this costs money to do. This isn't like taking a painting, to where you're painting, which costs money too, but it's not costing you thousands upon thousands of dollars to, get the technical stuff and pay other people. It's a very expensive hobby to have, Very
expensive, and it's rewarding in your heart, but it ain't going to be rewarding in your wallet. I get a lot of other filmmakers come to me, and this has happened a bunch recently, is they'll come and I'll say, hey, I'm a fellow director and I had some questions, if you could give me a call. And it's hard for me to keep up with Facebook Messenger. I'm so swamped on there, but I'll call these people out of the blue sometimes when they leave their number and stuff and say, hey, this is Billy Pond. It's like, oh my God, you're like royalty, man. I can't believe like how big, Circus of the Dead is, and you must be rich beyond your wildest dreams. I'm like thinking, dude, there's no money in this business. There's success with the fans, and then there's probably success with the money. I'm definitely a success with the fans, and that means the most because that's like bragging rights.
Yep.
But yeah, the success financially didn't happen yet. So I think they made better deals in the old days or something, because like all those old songs I hear too they keep getting played and you get money every time they get played. But some of this new music don't even get out there, and then it's free and cheap. And people are gonna lawyers and the powers to be, these rich people are gonna find a way to keep the poor people poor. So so we're screwed for the rest of our lives making movies. So.
Oh, ain't that the truth, man? You're right, though. I always tell people it's so funny because, like, you know, that dream when you start is like, I'm going to be rich and famous, and you get famous because even me, like, where you are, Roll, don't get me wrong, you're
stop,
not worthy, man. But
I'm not talking Pornhub. I'm talking the horror movie business.
Right? I can't go to Atlanta. I can't go to horror movies, or I definitely can't go to a con. You go to a con, you're just swamped. Like, oh my God, you're this guy. You're this guy. There's like, you get that real big ego. Then you go and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go to McDonald's. I can only get him a big chicken right now. You know. Yeah. So it's so funny. You get to drink a lot though. Everyone's always handing you a beer. So
always giving you stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's. I go to the cons and, you know, girls come up with my signature, get me to sign their leg or their boobs, and they get them tattooed on you. And I come home and my wife says, you know, hey, when you pee, you're splashing too much on the floor. I'm getting tired of this shit. So it's like, it's definitely different, but what's funny here in Odessa is people know me from the haunt business, you know, so it's like, that's where the Bloody Bill, you know, they say, oh, Bloody Bill. But now they're getting into the movie things, and I meet people's like, they'll say, oh my God, I can't believe that movie is made here in Odessa. And there's some horror fans coming out, and it's inspiring them to make movies and stuff. And you know what, Richard, that's what it's really about, is giving back to people to help them. My buddy Jake Perry is making a movie called Tapeworms, and he put me as a cameo in there. What's funny is, you know, we get a lot of cameos too when we're directors and they ask us to come do movies, because I guess it helps promote and stuff too. But Jake's starting at the very bottom, and so everything's going to help him as it is. But I keep telling him, you know, he goes, well, this is my dream. I want to do it. And I keep saying, man, I'm glad you're, you know, hyped about it, but boy, it's going to suck. He goes, no, this is the best. I go, no, it's going to suck. Because it's when it gets to that back end and you finish your movie and you finally get it all done, then that's when it gets time for the real bad screwing over part, where it's just going to make you hate what you do. It would be nice to make a movie and hand it off to a business manager and don't even think about it. That would be nice.
See, so I started with Days of the Dead. Like, I started going to that just as a fan, and I met Fred Vogel. And it blew my mind because, like, I know who you are. You're Fred Vogel. You did August Underground. And talked to him. And then this dude, as gracious as he was, just walked with me through the con all weekend. We would drink. We would go watch movies. And he told me, like, you know, go film. And I took that summer. I went out, filmed a film, came back the next year. And that's where, you know, you're living up. Like, they put me, I don't know if you remember this, the 2016 Days of Dead. It's you, me, and Tony Todd is right next to us. And I was just like, oh my God, I shouldn't be here. And that's when you became a mentor, because you're like, you deserve to be here. Keep going. Don't stop. Like, I got that spark, but you're the one that actually fanned the flame. And, you know, it's interesting because I have a background in writing, and that's where I got into it, because it's like, you know, I'd write stories and no one would read it. So I'm like, might as well make a movie, because then people can just sit there and not pay attention to it. But you started in these haunts. You were getting that. I know you got guitars behind you. I've heard Corn-Fed Cadillac. You know, I've seen the Billy Pond Experience. Like, this stuff is great. But what got you to go into the filmmaking? What made you jump from all the other creative endeavors to that? Okay.
Well, what I'll do is let's go back to that 2016 first. And I remember sitting there because on my left, I believe it was Chase Smith. Yes, nice guy too. And but I remember too is like me and Rusty was there, Mr. Blister. Yeah. And all we remember from that weekend is your buddy Danielle McKay. You know, is like her ass and those jeans, and it's like that. When me and Rusty still to this day talk about that, I said, do you remember anything that weekend other than that? He goes, not much, buddy. And I was like, God dang. But anyway, that was a great time. Yeah. But I thought, what's funny is they go, hey, this is Fred Vogel, and he come and talk to me, and it's like, I'm real embarrassed to say, but I'm in Podunk, Texas, and I just barely dabbled in. I haven't met and because you don't meet people unless you live in a big city and know a bunch of other filmmakers that introduce you to other people. And at the time I did Frightmare, but I didn't know how to mingle, and I took Dollboy and stuff. So I got there. I never knew who Fred Vogel was. I didn't know Stephen Biro, and even Marcus, Cook come and worked on our movie. I didn't know he did other movies and stuff. I had no clue. It's like I was getting introduced to people so fast I didn't know who they were. So I had to go back. But I felt, it's like I always wondered. I talked to Fred every once in a while, and we talked distribution, actually, I think a couple of months ago. It wasn't a happy talk, but
Never is.
I said, yeah, it'll end bad. I don't care. It'll end bad. But that's what I said. I hope I didn't come off jerky. I just didn't know because I'm out in the middle of this. And if it wasn't mainstream, I wasn't dabbling in indie film yet. But then when meeting you guys in 16, that's where my love affair come for indie films and stuff. And I stumbled over these, I watched all his old stuff and, Marcus's and Stevens and stuff like that. And that's where my love for indie film started coming in, is then, because I said, God, that's where the passion's at. That's what digs it, for me. Mm-hmm. So that goes back to 16. I wanted to say that. But now getting started in is I always dug haunted houses, and I always, dug the original Chainsaw Massacre. So I knew I wanted to make movies. In 98, I moved to Odessa because I had a chance to get a job at a TV station and as a newscast director. And I lied my way in, and I started directing the news. And then first chance I could get into creative services, I jumped over there. And as soon as I got in there, within 6 months, the guy that was over it forever and a day, he was going mad at the job, and he just wanted out and stuff. And the boss said, well, Billy, we're going to be in this pickle. Do you think you can take it over? And the young Billy, I can do anything in the world. So I took over creative services. But what that did is me and my buddies in the department, the other two guys, we started doing, 1,000 commercials a year or something. And it's like, those are basically mini movies. And sometimes you show up and they don't have their scripts written and all kinds of stuff, and you got to wing it. And that all started coming handy is when I wanted to try Dollboy. It got me started for that. I just used basically what I learned in TV production and started from there. I do like to say my co-writer, Lee Ankrum, we have really good guts, or a bullshit filter, and that's what we do when we write or film. I can film when something's going wrong or feels awkward, and I pass it by, and we find something else that'll work and stuff. So that's how I got started, is getting into TV with the hope someday that I could make horror movies.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually didn't know that about you. So that's
almost 20 years, 18 years at a CBS affiliate in West Texas. And see, they give you cameras and everything, Richard. I mean, you can get cameras now. I mean, your nieces and nephews have better cameras than you have making films. But
yeah,
back then, it was all tape. Dollboy was shot on tape. It wasn't shot on a digital card. That's unheard of back in those days. I said a digital card, it had me scratching my head. But that's how hard it was to come by a light kit or technology and stuff back in those days. So you just had to use what you had. And I took the same thing we used on the commercial and got some talented people and just went into an old abandoned flea market and made Dollboy. And I thought it sucked, but, my friend said, hey, put it in a film festival or two. And it started picking every film festival I went to, it got picked up. And then I got it into Frightmare. And that's when I went to my first convention. I was like, holy crap, and I met the Human Centipede guys and, Angus Scrim and how sweet he was and stuff. And it's like, that's what made Circus of the Dead were the conventions. The film fest and stuff are good, but it's the conventions. When you get out there and make one fan at a time, and you shake their hands and shake their babies, and then that's how you make those fans, is one at a time. So the conventions are priceless for a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker. So priceless.
100% true. I just recently started going to film festivals, and they've blown my mind, because I'm used to going to a con to where when they finally go see your movie, everyone's drunk, passed out, throwing popcorn at the film. It's a great time. But no one pay attention. They come buy it from you. A film festival is almost like going to a funeral. People just sit there
it's not
and stare. I'm like, hey, no, this is not a great movie, man. There's flaws. Don't look for them.
They go in there to judge. They go in there to judge you because they think it's hoity-toity. Conventions are horror fans. They want to be entertained. They just want to be entertained. And that's where it goes. It's like your newest one. It's like the stuff where you push the envelope is like, you see, that's the stuff that you probably gets the most reaction of when you watch at a film festival. At a convention. When you go to those conventions and people start hooting and hollering and all that kind of stuff, it's like, that's when you say, wow, make films for horror fans, not the mainstream. Yeah.
That sums it up, because there is it's enough of spoilers on every interview out there for Mother News, but there's a werewolf dick in my movie. To where it's just a passing moment. You go ha 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 ha, you laugh. But oh my God, any film festival or any actual reviewer, not a horror fan reviewer, someone who's writing for an actual site, are like, they lost me there, and I'm like, really? That's
no, yeah.
part of the movie.
Well, you don't know. You can't judge on that. I mean, to me, that's where you got me. That was my proudest moment, because it might have just been a passing thought for you guys, but to me, it's like, that's what it takes. If you would have alluded to it or something, it just wouldn't have been the same. And, it's like the original Chainsaw. They allude to some things, but guess what? We don't live in the 70s no more. Show me this stuff. And the days of Wolf Cop and all that kind of stuff, it's like, that's what I wanted to see. That's exactly what I would have done on that scene. So that's why, to me, it was the biggest growth for me. It just made me proud and happy as hell. I was just awesomeness. And I said, fucking pink crayon. I said, this is what I'm saying, man. I said, hell yeah. So I was happy. I had a little tear.
Right, exactly. Now, all right, and let's talk future a little bit, man. So I am super stoked about Cowboy for Help, because I'm actually a huge Western fan. I love Westerns. I love your movies and that. And some of the cast you got in this is crazy.
If we don't hurry up, they're going to die. I need to hurry.
Say that out loud, but I thought that too.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard though. I mean, with that COVID, with the cancer, with everything, and there's a lot of people that's given up hope and says, Billy ain't going to do it or whatever. But it is. That movie is totally a promise to Brad Potts. And he played the trooper or the sheriff's guy in Cowboys from Hell, and he become a great friend. Is when I did with Circus of the Dead, I flew some people in, but I didn't want them in, Richard, for like a long time. I did that with Bill, and Parrish ended up there for a long time, but I knew Parrish already, so I was already comfortable with him, because you don't know, this is my first film, and I didn't think I knew what I was doing. I was afraid they would eat me up and say, you're not professional and all this kind of stuff. But after bringing Bradford in for just 2 days, I said, God dang, this is like the coolest guy. He's like a friend and a brother. So, but he is telling me nobody ever writes some good roles and all this. I said, I'm the greatest at everything I do. I'm like Muhammad Ali, but fat and white. But and I told him, I said, I can make a really good one. And that's what Cowboys from Hell is. And it's a really great movie. I'm just trying to get all the ducks in a row. And I mean, I got some investors, and I got all kinds of producers and stuff, and talking to a lot of different people. There's just a lot of cogs that need to be rolling, but I really need to get it going. I really need to get it going, Richard, and I'm going to. And it's like, I mean, the only way it won't ever happen is if I just drop dead or something. So that should be the next movie, and I can't wait to do it. And Chris Christopherson retired, but he was mentioned. I never announced it because he's retired, but I'm going to wait because he made a promise to me once before, but we'll see if he holds to it. So
that's the coolest part to me. It's like, whoa, Chris Christopherson. Don't worry, I'm coming out with the defibrillators, man. We got to see this.
Well, that's what's funny is now I got a defibrillator installed in my chest since that cancer thing. So now I got like a pacemaker / defibrillator. So if you ever see me drop dead at a convention, don't come and give me mouth to mouth, because I'm going to come back to live, I promise. So and shock you. So
shocking kiss. There you go. Well, see, that's how you get it. Just go online, do a GoFundMe, but just give them access to every time they want to. They can just push the button, give you a little shot.
That's a good idea.
$5 a shot, guys.
Well, see, I haven't ever done a GoFundMe for a film yet. I'm apprehensive because some of these movies I've been seeing, they're bringing in 200,000, Richard, and I'm like thinking, holy hell! But they're selling roles to the movie, so I don't know if I'm comfortable with that kind of stuff yet. I'm not telling them not. I don't care if somebody does it, but I'm just saying I don't know that I will. So, and then it's like somebody saying, like, if I sold the guns, the Bloody Bill or something from the movie, I don't know that I want to do that either. I don't want to give those props and stuff up, because I'm kind of in love with that stuff too. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that yet, but maybe I'll just use the fundraising for the promotion after it's done. Mm-hmm. Maybe be early screenings or something like that, or do something fun. So that way they get something in return really, really quick, and I don't have to go on for, 2 or 3 years. I'm just glad I didn't do it 2 or 3 years ago when I started this, because people get pissed at you quick nowadays if you don't back that stuff up. And I don't even care if I give to a film, and I try to donate something to every film I can. I try. I mean, I've been broke some a little bit lately, but when I can, I will. But if they don't ever give it, it's okay, because I know what it is to take it to make a film. I'm not gonna Well, these sons of bitches took my last $5 and they didn't make a film. It was 2 months ago and I still ain't got a film. It's like, I don't care about that stuff because I know how hard it is to make it. So I don't ever bitch about that. But I guess those people that go out there and just screw other people over, that's not cool. But no, anytime you've done something, it's like clockwork. It comes. So, and a lot of our friends too. I mean, it's you get a bad reputation in this business. It's like they don't seem to last long anyway. So they kind of disappear.
No, you can definitely see the people that fall out of it. And
yeah,
I'm with you that I like the I call them pre-orders. I do not take that risk where like I need money to make this movie because too many things happen when you're making a movie. What was I can't remember his name right now, and I feel so bad. Ryan Gutterball.
Yeah, Ryan Nicholson. Yeah.
He got before he passed. God rest his soul. Like he got dragged through the mud because of everything, and no one knew. It's just like he was sitting there working on the movie and had cancer, and everyone just bad-mouthed him. And then, after his death, it comes out like, oh, here's the movie. It's still coming. He worked it, and it's just, you never know. You never know. It's like sometimes you got to remember this is not Hollywood, and it's literally people, like you said, we're out there digging ditches in the day, come filming at night, and then dealing with personal life and everything else.
And what's weird about that is that, and this is a true story too, it's like this is like Hollywood drama shit, but he's with Stephen Biro now. All of his movies are, so I'm glad to see that too, because I know Steve will take care of it and get him out there and stuff like that, and he'll be a very good ambassador to it and stuff like that. I think he really respected Nicholson and stuff. But now me and him never met. The one Frightmare he went to, I didn't get invited to, so it was like the one out of 6 Frightmares I didn't get to go to. But he wrote me all the time, and we actually talked a shitload, Richard. And he was telling me, to keep my head up about the cancer, and he never mentioned this shit about him until it was at the very end, and it just completely broke my heart because I felt like such an ass. But that's what kind of guy he was, is he didn't want to talk about him and his problems. He was more worried about me and my problems with cancer and stuff. And after I learned more and stuff like that at the end, and he's passed and stuff, I look back at our letters and stuff. And, it was like at the very end when he told me he was fighting that kind of stuff. So it was real sad. But I remember people dragging through the mud and stuff and him saying that. And that's when he come out with that and stuff. And it hurt his feelings and stuff like that. And I didn't think it's right. But he was a very good, ambassador. And he was a big influence and stuff, just as the type of person you should be as a filmmaker. So, I never did get to meet him in person, but we've had a hell of a lot of phone calls and a hell of a lot of messages and stuff. So, it was real sad to hear him go when he went, but you could probably count on 2 hands how many friends we've lost, in this business already and stuff, and keep losing. So it's happening, especially even from cancer too. I can think easily about 4 or 5 other people in the business that we lost to cancer and stuff too. So
that's true. Cancer.
Sucks, yeah. So fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer. I think it might be filmmaking, man. It's a carcinogenic, man.
I said that.
I don't think it makes sense anymore.
You rich from Circus? I go, no, but I got cancer from Circus of the Dead, so.
Well, somebody wants to take something from you. There you go.
I also got married after the movie and stuff, and the wife doesn't even really like the movie that much. She's more of a paranormal person and stuff, so she actually got me into ghost hunting and stuff too, which I think Father Evil's into that too. Me and Lou talk about that a lot. Yeah, me and him need our own ghost hunting show, just us together, because we get around each other, we bust on each other pretty damn bad, so. I think last time I seen him, he said I look like a melted Harry Hershey kiss melted on the floor. So I don't know.
Yes.
But he's a good dude though. I met him at Days of the Dead out in Atlanta too, and then I saw him at Frightmare, and now we're like old friends. But it's just like you. If I don't see you for another 5, I bet you when I see you next time, it'll be like I see you every day. So that's what's cool about this business too, is the relationships that you make.
Bunch of homecomings. Yeah, Father Evil, cool guy, man. I like him a lot. It still shocks me how big he got. I'm like, you made your own character. No movie, just went with it. All right, more power to you, man.
He's in Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he's going to be in there, and he's playing himself. So you got to tune in to see that. So.
Yep.
And he said he won't do that for just anybody, but he loves me.
Protective of that character.
I always say in a sexual way, buddy. I know. So. But,
all right. Yeah. What else you got going on, man? You got anything you need to promote? I know you said you're about to start working on some channels yourself too, right?
Yeah, I want to do Bloody TV, and that's just kind of what you're doing here. But us, if we could turn our 1 or 2 fans into $1 or $2, we need to try to do whatever we can. And I really want to try to get off of social media and move to something like that, because going through those politics and stuff like that, I've lost some family members and friends over some of that stuff, and it's just getting old. I got to be off social media by the time the next elections hit, because I don't even want to see that stuff. But I just think we need to get back to the old life a little bit and just get entertainment, what we want to watch, and then do that, and just quit having people pound our ears with their point of view all the time. So just like-minded people watching like-minded things, and that's what Bloody TV would be, is just to get people like you or Oberst or Parrish and talk about this or talk about that. And it might even be just local friends too that I've met, or people, just interesting people I've met in life that I just like to talk to and pick their ear a little bit. And then I'll probably do some, I did so many fake commercials and fake trailers, just do a lot of stuff like that and have fun with it. There's something that's like, here's something that's breaking news. I don't know. I'm not going to post it because I don't want somebody to steal it. But I bought a Evil Knievel doll, because I had him when I was a kid, but I made it into Mr. Blister, because Mr. Blister was supposed to be a stunt rider.
Yeah.
So on the Bloody TV, there's going to be a little segment, kind of like Super Dave, but it'll be Mr. Blister jumping, these kids jumping different things with it, be it, whatever, stuffed baby dolls or a plate of bacon or weird stuff like that. So it'll have Mr. Blister doing his stunts on there. We might blow him up one week. Now the breaking thing that nobody knows is I'm working on this top secret script for a friend who approached me and said, "What can you do with this, Billy?" And I said, "I can, here goes my ego again. I'm the best. I'm the best there's ever been. I float like a butterfly and, piss like a bee." But anyway, so he gave me something to write. So I'm writing this script for him, and it's really good. And it's really, because I got to keep his dream in mind. And he's a very big fan of Chainsaw Part 2. And this script I'm writing, it's over the top and fun. So, I mean, that might even sneak in before Cowboys, because he's backing all this and all that kind of stuff. So if we can get that going, it might even sneak in and film before summer's up. But what I'm going to try not to do on that one is promote it and get all these people talking, and Billy ain't going to do nothing. He never did this. So it's like I'm fixing to go underground with what I'm going to do, because I'm tired of people saying he's not going to do it. He ain't going to do nothing, So he's resting all his laurels on a movie he made 100 years ago. It's like, I know, but what's funny is Circus is more popular today than it was yesterday, and it's like that's how it grows. It grows a couple of people every day, and what can I do about it? It's not like a Marvel movie. They come out and they're as big as they are for the first 1 or 2 weeks, and then they start sliding. It's the opposite for an indie. It's like, shoot, I think the original Chainsaw was like that too, if I remember correctly. They considered it porn or whatever, and nobody watched it, but then it just grew into folklore. So maybe that's what Circus will do too. But the Circus of the Dead 2 script is like freaking really, really good too. So, yeah. I acquired 2 more guns today. Actually, I already put them in the gun safe, but a 44 Magnum from the 70s and a 357 Magnum Smith & Wessons from the 70s to use in the film. So that's what Mr. Pfister should have had instead of that blank gun. See, those are the kind of things I like really get on myself about. Is I don't like CGI gunfire, and I don't like CGI blood squibs. I try to get as best I can by just using my imagination. And then Cryptids is coming out, right, getting soon with Joe Bob Briggs. That's produced by the Scream Time guys, Justin Seaman and Zane Hershberger. And they tapped me right before I got cancer. And when I say right before is I filmed on a Saturday and Sunday, and I went to the hospital on Monday, and that's when they found the cancer. I was just feeling really shitty that weekend, the 2 weekends I filmed. And so I'm finally finishing it. So I'm doing one called a little short inside that anthology called Chupacabra Death Machines. And it's not what they go, "Hey, will you do a Chupacabra thing since you live in West Texas?" I go, "Sure." And I don't think they're expecting these drug lords taking these 2 Chupacabras and hunting down their bad sellers and stuff. So I did something pretty creative with it.
That's awesome. That's all. I look forward to it, man. You say the word cryptid, I'm in. Like, look, I played Bigfoot, man. I'm down.
They didn't give me Bigfoot. I would have had to show them a Bigfoot penis if so.
Oh, of course. Man, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop your links in the description here, and hope, seeing how technology goes with me, we never know after today. I'm going to try to have it scrolling and everything, so you're going to be able to find Bloody Bill, guys, and everything. You need to get out there. If you have not seen Circus of the Dead, do it. Go buy it. Buy it twice. I think I have like 5 different copies of it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a legend of a film. My niece... And
also I was going to say, too, is that it's on Tubi for free. And that's free. That's anybody can watch that shit. So you don't even have to bootleg it. You can watch it on Tubi. So that way I get a quarter of a cent every time somebody watches the movie.
There you go. quick story on before we go. My niece, when you were showing this in Atlanta, my brother-in-law and my niece had come to support me, and I was like, hey, guys, I'm going to go check this movie, Circus is Dead, because the guy next to me was talking about it. You know, he made it. So I went in there, and they come in a little bit late, and it's right at the scene where Bill pulls his dick out and just starts wanking it, spitting on the window. And my niece is all of 14 at the time, and you've never seen a father just, whoa, and run out of a room. So thank you for that. It's a nice Christmas memory.
Hey, I tell you what, though, the world's such a nasty-ass place. I mean, 14 now, you need to have it together because the world will spit you up and chew you out. You know, nowadays you got to teach people younger because this is a nasty, mean world. And I talked to Oberst. Oberst is one of the most religious, sweetest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. And I said, how in the heck could you play something so terrible? And he explains it in only the way Bill can, in such an eloquent way. But he says it's that he knows, he goes, it's, if evil exists, then he knows that good has to exist too and stuff like that. So, like, you know, you use that word mentors. That's Oberst is the kind of guy that if this would have went sideways with Circus, I wouldn't be making movies. But since it went so good because of somebody like Oberst, it's like he gave me the, what do you call it, the gasoline in the heart now to know that I can do this for a living. So it's thanks to him and Parrish and all these other people involved in the films and my crew and stuff, is I'm just a product of them. I get a lot of the praise and the accolades and stuff like that, but really I don't have nothing without them. And we're a part of a bigger team, and that's what it takes. You know as well as I do. You can't go make it on your own, Richard. I don't care how good you are.
Nope, it's community with us.
Mm-mm.
Definitely. Well, Billy, I appreciate you so much, man. The inaugural show, you were here. This is the perfect person to have for it.
I appreciate it, and I love you so much, and all those guys out there, Daniel, Danielle, I guess anybody else, I'm forgetting their name. I met everybody, but gosh, it was so long ago, and I hope to get back down there again. I haven't been on the Days of the Dead circuit in a while. You know who got us on there was Jason Hoover, and I think he fell off of Facebook, so I don't know what he's up to. So hopefully he's doing good and stuff like that, but I always remember he's the one that opened that door for me, and I'm forever thankful.
Yep, same here, man. Same here. Well, we'll talk again soon, man, and we're going to go ahead and end this episode. Like I said, stay tuned for more, guys. Like, subscribe, and follow all the links below. Later.
See ya.